This is a short video on the language used in algebra. This is intended to be an introduction. In algebra, we have things called expressions and things called equations. So I'm going to show you both of those to start with. An expression can be as simple as a number, like the 3 there, combined with that letter there, x. That is an expression, but an expression can have more than one part. For instance, this is still an expression. If it had lots of parts, still an expression. So now that it's got lots of parts, let's talk about those parts individually. An expression is anything that has parts of algebra in it. An expression can have one little bit like that, which we would call a term, or it can have multiple terms. So each one of these things divided by a positive, or even if I put a negative in there, is a term. So a term consists of parts multiplied together. We should remember that something like 3x actually means 3 times by x. So once again, an expression can be any number of terms. An expression becomes an equation when there is an equal sign. For instance, like this. We could look at this and say that this is an equation. It's an equation because there is an equal sign there. It's equating the things on one side to the things on the other. Inside an individual term, we can divide up the parts of the term. So if we concentrate on that 3x there, the first bit here, the number 3, any number that we stick out the front, we call a coefficient. Any letter that is there, remember the purpose of that letter is to represent a number that we might not know the value of yet. So the name of that number is not a letter, it's there in place of a number, and so we call it a pronumeral. Pro meaning for, numeral meaning number. It's there for a number. So if we just go back through, an expression is any piece of algebra regardless of how many terms it has. A term is a piece of algebra where all of the parts are multiplied together, so 3x is a term. When we have expressions, the terms are separated by plus and minus signs. An equation has an equal sign in it somewhere as part of the statement. And inside the term we have coefficients, the numbers out the front, and pronumerals. Not letters, pronumerals. We use the letters to represent them, but they're there for a number. So they're a pronumeral.